All right. Great to see so many folks on, and thanks for introducing yourselves. We will go ahead and get started. You may hear some of the dinging coming through as folks keep joining, but we have a lot of material to cover today, and so we want to make sure that we get through everything. So I do want to let everyone know, first, please mute your mics, and for bandwidth purposes, if you can come off a video, if you can shut down your video, that would be great. We have a lot of people joining this session, and so we want to make sure we save on that bandwidth. So we will be recording this session. You may not see it in the on this screen here, but we will be recording the session. And we do understand that when some folks join the call, their AI bot does automatically join them with the session. We do ask that you please remove all AI bots at this time. It is our policy that we will remove the AI bot that has joined the session. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the HVRP Listening Session. I am Sarah Bierman, the Deputy Director for the Office of Grants and Training with the Veterans Employment and Training Service. Today, we are going to brief you all on the feedback we received during the 2023 National Coalition for Homeless Veterans, or the NCHV Annual Conference. But first, I'll turn it over to Maria Temikal so she can provide some opening remarks. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Maria Temikal. So happy to have you all with us today. I want to let you know how excited I am about this particular presentation. For those of you that have been around HVRP for a while, you're very familiar with our listening sessions. We generally host them at the NCHV conference, and we've been doing that since about 2016. And so learning from you all, hearing some of the pain points, some of the gaps, some of the things that we're not doing so well, and some of you have been very kind to share with us the things that you think we are doing well. I hope those of you that have been around have seen how we've been able to adjust, evolve, change, improve the program, making it easier for all of you to execute. But we are always open to hearing your great ideas and always open to hearing your constructive feedback. So we look forward to more of that. Please feel free to continue to add comments, ideas, thoughts in the chat. We have folks that are collecting all of that information. This will continue on into this year's NCHV conference. And then you know that my team also has listening sessions monthly on different topics. But we would love to always hear from you and make sure that we are making this program the best it can be for our veterans. So thank you very much. And Sarah, take it from here.
All right, great. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate that. Next slide, please. All right, so as I said, I'm Sarah Bierman. I'm the Deputy Director. I have the privilege of hosting this listening session with you all. You are probably more familiar with Chris Brown, the HVRP lead, so I'm giving him a break today, and I'm going to be facilitating this session. I will also be followed by Jen Segerwald, the project manager for the National Veterans Technical Assistance Center, or NVTAC, and she'll provide some great information on what NVTAC is doing as well. Next slide. All right, so as Maria explained, we did host a listening session during the 2023 NCHV conference. This is an annual conference that NCHV hosts. This last year, it was May 31st through June 2nd. And so we, vets, host a breakout session for HVRP grant recipients to provide their feedback. We hear directly from HVRP grant recipients. It is a session just for HVRP grant recipients. And we seek to hear some honest feedback directly from you all on how we can improve VET's HVRP program and NVTAC as well. So during last year's session, we did specifically ask what the gaps are in our guidance and how we can improve our guidance, what additional services grant recipients would like to see from NVTAC, and what grant recipients would have liked to known as a new HVRP grant recipient. So we always want to keep improving our program and helping new grant recipients as they come in to the program as well. So we received a lot of great feedback during this session, which is what we want to brief out to you all today. We documented all of this feedback. The way the listening sessions are set up is that we have tables and there's note takers at each table. And so those note takers captured that feedback. We took all that feedback, categorized the feedback, and then worked this past year to try to implement that feedback by improving the funding opportunity announcement for HVRP, looking at ways we can improve our policy and guidance and services from NVTAC as well. Next slide. So from all of the feedback that we received, we categorized all of the comments and suggestions into the categories that you see on the slide. So when we solicited the feedback, we asked note takers to write down all the feedback. So even if it was an idea or a question that had already been implemented, or even if it was something that we really couldn't make a change due to statutory limitations or things like that, we wanted to hear it all, and we wanted them to write down everything because we want to hear any and all challenges and pain points that grant recipients experience. So for example, if we receive feedback on topics that we've already implemented, then that lets us know and understand that we need to potentially provide additional training or maybe create a resource for you all. So a lot of the feedback that we received in 2023 at the NCHV conference, there was a lot of questions and comments versus suggestions. That let us know that we really needed to provide some additional training to HVRP grant recipients and provide some resources to you all. So we're going to address that feedback here today, but we're going to hold another feedback session during the 2024 Annual NCHV Conference. And we do look forward to any feedback and detailed suggestions to better understand your pain points or challenges, as well as how can we make the enhancements on our end to assist you. Now, of course, that means you don't have to come up with a solution. We're here to do that, but the more details you can provide us on these pain points, the more we can really hone in and look to see if we can make a change in that particular area. So as we go through the results of the feedback today, if you have any suggestions on how we can improve a process, please add it to the chat. So we still want to hear from you. We still want to hear any suggestions. Like Maria said, even if it's something we can sustain, please let us know that. We always want to know if we're doing something good, then we'll keep that and not change it. But the more specific you can be, the more helpful it is for us to better understand, and providing specific suggestions to resolve that barrier is always helpful for us. So we appreciate your feedback. Again, go ahead and put those things as I go through the information today. Unfortunately, we have so much to put out today that we won't be able to take questions throughout the presentation or discuss that feedback, but we will absolutely capture all of your feedback and questions throughout the session. And so please add it to the chat. And again, just be specific, as specific as you possibly can, so that when we review the feedback, we know exactly what you're talking about and where we can potentially improve. So if we do have time at the end, we will certainly take questions. And if we don't, we will provide a Q&A document that will be posted on NVTAC website in the following weeks. The slide deck and the recording from today's session will be available within the next couple days. It'll be emailed out to through the Goders to grant recipients, and then it'll also be on NVTAC's website as well. So again, that should be available in the next couple days. So be checking out NVTAC's website if you want to get the slides and recording from today's session. So as we cover the feedback, we are going to provide the applicable resources that you will see on each slide. Because there's so many different resources that we'll be covering, because we want to tell you what we've done this past year based on your feedback during the NCHV conference. We're providing resources on things that we've worked on this past year to assist you with the questions and comments that you provided. So Christina Vine, she is the Washington AdVet and currently on a detail with the Office of Grants and Training with the National Office. She's going to be assisting by providing the links in the chat as I talk through some of these things. But again, we will provide this slide deck with all of the links for all of the resources. So don't worry if you don't get it in the chat, it'll be in the slide deck for your review in the next couple days. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, we got a lot of information to cover, so we want to make sure we get everything covered. Next slide. Oh, wait. Oh, there you go. Yep. This getting started category will cover the feedback that we received pertaining to the questions prior to receiving an HVRP award. So there was a question on what do all the acronyms mean. So we did create a HVRP acronym Cascade that you can find on the HVRP webpage. So it is under the Program, Resources, and Partners section of the HVRP website. And we hope that this helps with those who asked, what do all the acronyms mean? Another couple of resources available to you on the acronyms is that we have the HVRP glossary of terms also posted on the HVRP website. And then within the first month of a grant award, it's usually the end of July, beginning of August, we host a virtual national office post-award conference. And so those sessions are always recorded and available to you to go back and watch anytime. So it's another great resource when you get new employees that you can refer them to the post-award conference website. And again, those are all available at the links that you see on your screen, and Christina is posting those in the chat as well. We did get questions on, like, there's so many different acronyms and what do they all mean? So again, that post-award conference does cover all of those different acronyms and terms, but I did want to provide a quick recap today just because we did get quite a bit of feedback on that, which means that we need to make sure that you all are aware of it and have the appropriate resources. So VETS, what is VETS? VETS is the Veterans Employment and Training Service with the Department of Labor, and we are the federal agency that administers HVRP. NVTAC, the National Veterans Technical Assistance Center, is a DOL VETS contracted program that provides technical assistance and training to grantees and other organizations who are committed to helping veterans experiencing homelessness find employment. You will hear from NVTAC later in this session on the things that they are working on. NVTI, the National Veterans Training Institute, is also a DOL VETS program. The National Veterans Training Institute provides specialized training and professional skills enhancement for veteran service provider staff. You will see throughout the slide deck that we reference NVTI courses quite a bit. And so we do encourage HVRP grant recipients to go to the NVTI website to see a list of all the courses. But again, we'll talk about those in upcoming slides. The DVET. The DVET is the state director for the Veterans Employment and Training Service. They serve as a GOTR, which is the Grant Officer Technical Representative. There is one DVET assigned to each state and certain territories. The GOTR is the HVRP grant recipient's federal point of contact. And the HVRP grant recipient's designated GOTR is listed in the Notice of Award, or the NOA. And so DVETs may delegate the authority of the GOTR. GOTR is kind of a role that they play, but they can't delegate the responsibility and are ultimately responsible for the oversight of the grant as a GOTR. So the GOTR monitors and conducts periodic on-site reviews to ensure program and financial performance by the grant recipient is acceptable. An AdVet Not all states have an ADVET, but they are an assistant director for Veterans Employment and Training Service. And it depends on the size of the programs within the state as far as whether they have ADVETs or not. But some of you may work with ADVETs as well as the DVET. All right, so next slide. So we heard feedback about trying out an HVRP grant prior to applying for an HVRP grant award and kind of seeing how an HVRP grant works prior to applying. So we do have a few existing resources to assist with this feedback. HVRP is a competitive grant, so while there's really no way to try it out prior to receiving an award, there are several different webinars and information available to assist a prospective applicant to better understand and be aware of the requirements of an HVRP grant. So the first is the Bidders Conference, and you'll see all the links that I am speaking to on the slide, and then Christina will be providing those links as well. But the Bidders Conference provides a comprehensive overview of the HVRP program, the types of organizations and partners that are often successful, and steps that your organization can take to prepare to submit a competitive application. So this happens prior to the FOA being announced. And NVTAC does have this posted on their website. If a prospective applicant is interested in an introduction to being a grantee, they could also review the post-award conference on the NVTAC website. All of this information is public, and so they would be able to gain an understanding of the HVRP requirements through that. And we're always looking to enhance our funding opportunity announcement where we can put this type of information on our funding opportunity announcement to let prospective applicants know about these different resources as well. So prospective grantees can also contact existing grantees. So there is a map of current HVRP grantees, and so prospective applicants could contact HVRP grantees and ask questions. They could contact vet staff, and NVTAC actually has an outreach specialist now as well who educates entities on HVRP. So we are, and this all, the NVTAC outreach specialist just occurred, and so we're trying to implement these things to help educate entities on HVRP and get the word out on the FOA as well. So again, like I said, each year we look to improve the FOA. The FOA, the funding opportunity announcement, it outlines the requirements and expectations for the HVRP grant. And so following the release of the FOA, there is a prospective applicant webinar to help walk attendees through the various parts of that year's FOA. So we really tried to educate prospective applicants on navigating the FOA. And again, NVTAC posts this on their website as well. So we also received feedback regarding goal setting, at the time of application. So of course, when you apply through the funding opportunity announcement, you have to set goals. And since this is a competitive grant, the FOA does state the awardees are held to the performance goals submitted within their application and must report quarterly on the progress toward their goals throughout the three-year period of performance. And so we've worked to try to put some additional information into the FOA to help guide prospective applicants to better understand what applicable goals might that they might want to set, such as like national and state level outcomes as well. So again, working to try to improve that FOA to help better set the prospective applicants up for success. And again, if you have any specific suggestions, go ahead and put those in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. So one of our biggest focuses, sorry, Chris, next slide. One of our biggest focuses is providing resources and support to new grant award recipients. And we've worked really hard this past year to implement several different things, which we'll go over now. Every grant is assigned a GOATer as the federal point of contact. So this is the grantee's first line as a resource for assistance. So anytime you have a question, anytime you need, technical assistance for training, all of that, your GOATer is your federal point of contact. So please reach out to them, and they're happy to assist. So within the funding opportunity announcement, VETS encourages new grantees to account for startup time when developing their plan goals. And so the FOA language we've, again, tried to enhance speaks to making sure that they take that into account and make sure that they consider any potential delays in startup, and which could impact any performance in early quarters, meaning, we don't want prospective applicants to just propose goals evenly throughout all of the period of performance, but to take into account that there might be some startup delays and there might be things that they have to consider to get things up and moving once they are awarded the grant. So applicants selected for an HVRP grant award will be contacted by their GOATer once awarded, and VETS does work to announce as early as possible. We continue to work on this, and we do our very best to announce as early as possible. VETS will release the announcements of the award on our homepage as well, so that we can try to get the word out as soon as possible. So within the first month, we talked about this too, within the first month of the grant award, the national office will hold a virtual post-award conference, and you can view those. Those are all recorded, so you can view previous year post-award conference sessions on the NVTAC website as well. The NVTAC welcome packet. So on NVTAC's website, they do have a welcome packet, and it does include a startup checklist and other information to assist a new grantee with grant implementation. So again, we're going to try to work on better communicating that to new grantees so that they are fully aware of all these different resources. For the post-award conference, we are looking to make sure that we have a good balance of making sure that you get the information that you need. We received a lot of great feedback during the post-award conference last year, and so we are working through that feedback right now so that we can make sure it is the best use of everyone's time. For example, we're really going to try to work to make sure that the sessions, the audit, it will better explain who it's intended for, what the intended audience is, and then we want to also have a new employee or a new grantee session to kind of go over the basic HVRP 101 information so that we can get into more of the detailed information with all of the continuing grantees. So we heard that from you. We think it's a great idea, and we're going to work to implement that this year as well. We heard feedback on that new grantees need a mentoring program, and want to again remind everyone that the GOATer is available. They are your federal point of contact. They are to help you and provide technical assistance and help you with the resources that you need. But VETS also funds the National Veterans Technical Assistance Center to provide training and technical assistance to grant recipients based on your needs. And so NVTAC will assign a coach to a grant recipient to provide technical assistance on the areas of interest and need. And there is no cost to HVRP grant recipients for NVTAC services. So to better understand what technical assistance NVTAC can provide and what your GOATer is able to provide, that is on the NVTAC menu of services. NVTI also provides training to HVRP grantees, including on-demand learning and free training courses to help grantees achieve their goals. Again, really encourage you to visit the nvti.org website. NVTI created an HVRP journey map that provides an ideal training path for HVRP staff from your first days on the job into your second year. This HVRP journey map includes relevant NVTI microlearnings, which are just short videos. If you don't have a lot of times, microlearnings are perfect. Podcasts, different courses, webinars, community of practice, and much more that are aimed to help you establish, maintain, and grow essential job competencies to help be successful in your grant. So again, please check out HVRP Journey Map. NVTI has so much to offer, like I said, from courses to podcasts. Some of them are quick, some of them might be an hour long, some of them might be a day or two. So please look into that and see what meets your needs. Next slide. All right, so feedback addressed the challenges with staffing the HVRP grant. And of course, the results in not being able to keep the grant staffed is there's turnover and having to train new employees. So we hear you, and again, we've tried to work hard to provide some resources for new employees along with new grantees as well. So GOTRS and NVTAC, again, provide that support and technical assistance. So please reach out to both of them. Just a reminder to review the NVTAC menu of services to better understand what they can provide. NVTAC also provides a monthly community of practice. So if you weren't aware of that, these are events for HVRP grantees to connect, and it's a virtual community that provides a space for grantees to share challenges and best practices around serving homeless veterans and interact via webinar and discussion forums. So there are also previous community of practice events that can be viewed on the NVTAC website. NVTAC is also developing a standardized HVRP 101. So we heard you loud and clear. We need training for new staff. And so we do have HVRP 101, but we're enhancing it, and then we're going to have a recorded session so that when you get new employees, you can connect them right to this HVRP 101 recorded session. The HVRP website includes a lot of information, links, and resources. We have been adding to the webpage this last year and creating a lot of resources based on all of your feedback. So if you've not visited the HVRP webpage in a while, please do so, because there's a lot of resources that may be helpful and answer your questions. NVTAC, again, has that welcome packet and the program guide. If you're not familiar with the welcome packet and the program guide, please visit their website and click on them. The welcome packet has great information. The program guide has really good information, especially for new employees, case managers on outreach and training and case management, and just a lot of really good tips and tricks that will help your staff. So again, if you have not viewed those, please go check those out. Really good for new employees. Again, if you have any other suggestions on what we can do and create, please feel free to put those in the chat. So I already covered the journey map because, again, we created this because we heard that we need training for new employees, and this is geared just for that. And then I also want to point out a couple other resources that NVTI has. So there's two kinds of case manager courses. There's a managing case management course, and then there's an advanced case management course. So again, those are on the slide, and encourage you to check those out as well. All right, next slide. Okay, moving on to feedback that we received regarding partnerships. So we did receive feedback on co-enrollment with the American Job Centers and wanted to first provide the policies on co-enrollment with the American Job Center. So VPL 0316 does provide the policy on co-enrollment, and then GO Memo 0323 provides the reporting requirements for HVRP grant numbers at the American Job Centers. So again, any questions with this policy, please reach out to your GODER. Any challenges that you have with your American Job Center and creating that partnership, please reach out to your GODER and they can assist. NVTAC also does provide technical assistance and share best practices on that partnership and co-enrollment with the American Job Centers as well. And VETS is developing guidance regarding this partnership and hope to have that to you all within the next program year. So a couple joint trainings that I wanted to mention here is that NVTI created a virtual course on career coaching for special populations. NVTI also created a podcast that you see on the slide there. And then NVTAC has hosted community of practice events on effective partnering with American Job Centers and service deliveries in rural areas. And I believe the post-award conference last year also had a session on that as well. Next slide. Oh, sorry, Chris, I didn't tell you to next slide on that one, but those are the resources for what I just covered. Next slide. All right, so we received feedback pertaining to the GODER and their role. If you can go back one, Chris, there you go, relationship with the GODER. We received feedback pertaining to the GODER and their role, and we do strive to increase communication from the national office to GODERs and from the GODERs to the grantees. Again, we've been working this past year to increase that communication. So hopefully you felt that. If not, please run that up through your GODER or put it in the chat, of course, and we are happy to adjust and see what we can do to get communication moving in the right direction as well. So we have released several policies since we received all this feedback, because we did receive a lot of feedback on certain policies, and so we did receive we did release several different policies to help provide clarity within our guidance. That's also started a monthly office hours with the GODERs to help provide them the information that they need to pass on to you all as well, and to help them in implementing the and overseeing the grant. And then we do have virtual quarterly listening sessions with GODERs and grantees. And these sessions provide training on policies that we release and serve as an open forum for any questions. Again, sometimes we can't get to all the questions, but we try to release those Q&A documents, the recording of the webinar, and then the slide deck to hopefully communicate all of those questions that we receive as well. So a grantee can also join the NVTAC mailing list, and you can just email contact@nvtac.org. And then after joining that mailing list, you'll receive a monthly newsletter, HVRP program announcements, and information about upcoming HVRP virtual events as well. We did also receive some feedback on turnover with GODERs, and just as grantees experience it, VETS experiences turnover with staff as well. And we work really hard to ensure that the GODER responsibilities are filled quickly. And so grantees can also receive coaching from NVTAC, which provides technical assistance as well. And for consistency, VETS staff from the GODER to the regional offices to the national office work together and collaborate to maintain and send a consistent message with technical assistance. And we work closely with our grant officer and the Office of Grants and Management when we process requests or receive questions. That goes for when we do those Q&As. That's why sometimes those Q&A documents take a little while, because we want to make sure we have a consistent message. And we do involve other entities like OGM in the review of our responses. And so it's not just one person looking at it and sending it out. So we always want to make sure that we have the right message and we're sending out a consistent message. So thank you for bearing with us as we work on those Q&A documents, and sometimes they do take a while, but again, just trying to get them right. Next slide. All right, so we'll cover feedback we received regarding grant administration. Next slide. Okay, so this, the feedback we received on policies and forms. So again, since the NCHV conference, we have released a lot of new policies. And again, it was based on the feedback that we received from you all and how we can make things better. And so just want to confirm that VETS guidance is a national policy. So we work to update and revise our policies to provide clear and understandable guidance. You know, we hear during the feedback sessions that sometimes there's gray areas, and we acknowledge that. Sometimes there are going to be gray areas in a policy, but we work hard to try to clarify what we can. And again, if you do see areas that we can improve on in our policy and make it more clear, please help provide that specific suggestion or comment so that we can really focus on that and work to improve and provide clarity there. But the policies that we released this last year, again, looked at your individual feedback and tried to clarify the areas where you had mentioned that there is some gray area. So hopefully all the policies that we released this last year helps. The other part about communication is that you'll see on the screen there is a subscribe button. This actually works now. So if you did this before and it didn't work, we worked this last year to make sure that when you click on that subscribe button and you put in your information, you'll actually get a notification now. It wasn't working before, but we identified that and we fixed that. So again, encourage everyone to click on that subscribe button, add your name to the distribution list so that you can receive policy guidance updates. We also heard that our guidance is hard to find. And so if you go to our VPL directory, there is a list of VPLs, but and grant officer memorandums. But there's other programs, if you're familiar with the Jobs for Veterans State Grant, the guidance from that grant is also on there as well. So we heard you loud and clear, and we actually posted all of the applicable HVRP policies on the HVRP website. So when you go to the HVRP webpage, you'll actually see a list of all of the applicable policies, so that you don't have to dig through and find them. So we hope that is helpful as well. Next slide. Okay, so feedback we received pertaining to the quarterly reports. So the TPR provides necessary and required information. There is information that is required by statute to track the participants served and the outcomes of this grant. So VETS released VPL 0324, which covers HVRP performance, management, and reporting. That that provides information on reporting and particularly on reporting. There's a lot of other information in there, but it does provide information on reporting. So, so please check out that policy. And we also received feedback on the TPRs changing, and we do make updates to the TPR. We've been trying to be very cognizant that we're not requiring the grantee to re-enter all the information. So we're trying to do the re-entering of information, but understand, and again, we hear the feedback on the TPR, emailing it back and forth, and understand all of these pain points, hear you loud and clear. And so want to also include here that, and you probably heard this as well through our other listening sessions, but starting in program 24, so starting this next program year, grantees will use an electronic system to provide the required data on quarterly basis versus the spreadsheet, that TPR, and then the document, that TPN. So we're considering, different approaches on how to do that, but there will be training for grant recipients and more information to come on the post-award conference on this. But we heard you loud and clear, and we are working hard to get rid of that emailing back and forth with the TPRs and the TPNs, and it'll be an electronic system starting in PY24. Now, with any new system, there will be bugs, there'll be pain points, but hopefully we'll get those worked out. And again, always relying on your feedback to let us know what's going wrong, where those pain points are, so that we can address them. All right, and then receive some feedback on, how do we fill out the TPR and where do we go for information? So there's a couple links on the slide that you see. The TPR how-to video, that is a recording walking you through the TPR and how to fill it out. There's also an HVRP TPR TPN desk guide, really helpful information in there as well. Again, all this information is on the HVRP website. Oh, and then the last thing too is the National Office Post-Award Conference from last year. There was a session on the quarterly reports as well. And the VPL 0314, I forgot to add, does have the due dates and, again, all that applicable information regarding the quarterly reports. If you have any questions on quarterly reports, please reach out to your GODER. Next slide. All right, so we received feedback requesting additional guidance on corrective action plans. And so, again, we released VPL 0314. Attachment 1 specifically addresses the corrective action plan. And many new grantees, as they get started, their performance may result in a corrective action plan. But just as a reminder, a CAP is not punitive. It is a process to assist the grantee to provide technical assistance and help them improve to reach their goals. So again, GODERs are available to support, and NVTAC is also available to support depending on what the grant recipient is on a corrective action plan for. And then the policy guide, the VPL 0324, does specifically talk about the GODER's role providing assistance on a corrective action plan, and that throughout the duration of an approved corrective action plan, the GODER will provide technical assistance. So please reach out to them and ask them any questions that you have. Next slide. The feedback that we received on grant solutions is, kind of where can we go for questions? What do we do when they're not responsive? So there are a couple links on the slide that you see here on different training sessions. And so encourage you to view those. There is an FAQ as well that is available. But again, please reach out to your GODER for any assistance on grant solutions. So if grant solutions is being unresponsive, reach out to your GODER. They will push it up so that we can intervene and see what's going on if it's not resolved at the GODER regional level. We will certainly assist with that. So, all right. And just so I want to make sure I address this before I forget to. We're covering a lot of information and resources today. Again, you're going to get the slide deck that have all of the links, but I'm going very quickly through all of this information just to kind of let you know that these resources exist and that we created them this past year if you hadn't been made aware that they do exist. But as with every year, we will have a post-award conference at that end of July, beginning of August timeframe. And we go into more detail in these particular topics. So no worries. This is just kind of a prelude to the post-award conference and all the goodness that you'll get there as well. All right, next slide. All right, as far as grant operations, we received some specific feedback on eligibility. The next slide, Chris. And the feedback we got, it was more questions and comments versus feedback on, suggestions, but we did get questions specifically about income guidelines. And so we just wanted to clarify on the session today that the income guidelines are for at risk of homelessness eligibility. Again, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the eligibility today because we just don't have the time, but wanted to just clarify income guidelines are for at risk when you try to determine if someone is at risk only. And VETS does use the definition of at risk of homelessness that HUD uses. So we tried to mirror what HUD uses there and provides those resources that HUD provides as well. And did provide some links here, but really want to encourage you to review the eligibility frequently asked questions document. If you have not already, this really breaks down a lot of great information, and the questions that we received when we released that VPL, there's so much great information in there. So please, it covers documentation, it covers that at risk of homelessness, it covers the eligibility criteria. So please, if you have questions on eligibility, that is a wonderful resource to really break it down, talk in plain language, and provide what you need in order to properly assess your participants. So VETS will continue to consider potential changes to the at-risk of homelessness eligibility criteria. We are working on evaluating the current definition of at-risk to determine considerations for potential adjustments to the definition. This is the reason that NVTAC conducted a survey. Hopefully you received that survey, and a session to hear directly from grantees and solicit feedback on the current definition and how it is working within your grant and within your geographic location. So we'll continue to improve the program by looking for ways to streamline processes and considerations within the homeless community. Next slide. All right, so we did receive feedback on a request for training on substance abuse and mental health issues. We know that this is a barrier to employment, and so I won't go into all of these, but NVTI has a lot of great courses, webcasts, or podcasts, webinars, and so please check those out. NVTAC also has community at practice sessions that has really great information on these subjects as well. Next slide. And we received several comments and questions pertaining to services to HVRP participants, and we wanted to address those today as well. We did get a comment that folks need, grant recipients need more than 90 days before being required to exit a participant. So I really wanted to make sure that that was addressed here today. VETS does not require participants to be exited within 90 days of enrollment. The HVRP grant has a 3-year period of performance, and that 3 years allows for an extended window to achieve a placement goal. Now, I'm not sure if that comment was confused with the guidance on exiting someone, which is a participant who is placed or dropped during a quarter and is not scheduled to receive future HVRP services for the next 90 days or more is considered an exiter. Again, a really great resource is the TPR TPN desk guide and the TPR field definition reference guide. We did get a comment on how HVRP grant recipients need to be selective about who is ready for HVRP and is not just meeting eligibility. And VETS definitely agrees with that. And we address this within that eligibility FAQ document so that these individuals are properly assessed to make sure that they are in need of employment services, because HVRP is a competitive grant that offers employment services. Next slide. We also received some feedback on housing assistance and supportive costs. And so the funding opportunity announcement in which you applied does address housing assistance and childcare costs. And they have the housing assistance, HVRP funds can be used for housing assistance, but only for eligible participants who meet the definition of a veteran at risk of homelessness who's transitioning from certain institutions. And that's in accordance with 38 U.S. Code 2023. So again, as far as participant support costs, I'll just indicate that all costs must be allowable, applicable, necessary, and reasonable. And we added some resources on the slide here. And we also added some language to the PY24 FOA addressing allowable costs, such as participant support costs and incentives. And then VPL 0424 does address amendments. And so HVRP grantees, of course, have to operate their grant in accordance with their approved project narrative and project budget. But there are certain things that require amendments and other things that would not. And so please review VPL 0424 to better understand what those requirements are. And your GODER is able to assist you with helping you understand whether an amendment is required or not. VETS is working on guidance to address incentives and participant support costs, like we did in the PY24 FOA. So working on that as well. And so we appreciate the feedback on that. Next slide. All right, I think we gotta go back to the training requirement, Chris. So there was feedback on that HVRP grantees need examples on acceptable training. And so again, your GODER is available for questions. VETS also offers the desk guide and TPR field definitions reference guide that provides different examples of participant training. We also updated the glossary of terms that defines what training is and the different types of training. We heard from you on the 80% training requirement, and as you know, through the incremental funding process, we did make a change to that, and so now the HVRP grant recipients get to set that goal between the 55% and 100%. And so again, we heard you and we appreciate your feedback. There was a lot of questions on taking credit for training. Again, I would refer to the TPR, TPN desk guides and other resources on the HVRP website. But again, talk to your GODER on what you can take credit for within the TPR as it pertains to training. And then NVTAC can also offer technical assistance on getting your participants trained, and they are working on a resource to provide examples of training, which I believe Jen will talk about during her session. So I do have questions here, but that took a little bit longer than I expected, and I want to make sure Jen has enough time to cover the amazing things that NVTAC is working on, so I will turn it over to Jen.
Thanks, Sarah. We could go ahead one slide. So like Sarah said, my name is Jen Steigerwald. I'm the project manager for NVTAC. So I'm just going to talk about a couple exciting things that are coming up for or from NVTAC, some events we have. For those of you who are not familiar with NVTAC, just kind of a short overview of what we do. So we provide TA that is designed to increase grant recipients' ability to establish and operate successful HVRP grants. We'll talk a little bit more about the TA process in just a minute. And we support HVRP grant recipients throughout their entire period of performance. So at any point, grantees can connect with NVTAC, and then once you're assigned a coach, that is your coach for the duration of your grant. And if we actually skip ahead 2 slides. So like I said, we provide individualized one-on-one TA, and that TA can be requested either by the grant recipient themselves or by the GODER. So either party can refer to NVTAC for TA. And we love to mention that grant recipients do not need to be experiencing performance challenges to work with NVTAC. Any grantee can work with us at any time. A couple of the things that we often provide TA on that are outside of performance challenges are things like staff turnover, leadership specific training, and a lot more. I recommend looking through our menu of services that is in the chat if you haven't seen that yet. And all TA requests, whether from the GOTR or from the grant recipient, can be made at the email contact@nvtac.org. As soon as we receive your referral, we'll assign you a coach, and then we'll go from there with TA. Next slide, please. Something else we do in multiple different formats are peer-to-peer opportunities. So we do many different, both small one-on-one peer-to-peer opportunities through TA with grant recipients, and then also we do larger scale peer-to-peer opportunities for all HVRP grant recipients. So we do things like state or region-wide peer-to-peers, peer-to-peers for special populations like rural locations, justice involved, and many others. So if you're interested in a peer-to-peer opportunity, you can reach out to same email address, contact@nvtac.org. Next slide, please. And I already mentioned this, but we have a new menu of services. The link is here in the slides, and then Christina has already pasted it in the chat too. So again, I recommend taking a look at that to see all of the services outside of TA that we can provide for grant recipients. Next slide, please. So you actually heard this already with the DOL HVRP website, but we have mirrored that on the NVTAC website, where we have added links to each active policy for HVRP right on our website in the policies tab under resources. So we have a link here on the slides that you will all get, but just wanted to make sure you were all aware that all of those individual links are now in the resources section of the NVTAC website. Next slide, please. And one more. Okay, so a couple exciting events coming up that I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of. We have our April Community of Practice session. This month it is going to have guest speakers from the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers. So if you haven't yet registered for that event and you would like to, there is a link here in the slides. We also have our next virtual learning series coming up. The first session will be held on April 23rd. So if you are interested in those sessions, the links to register for each individual session are also on this slide. Next slide, please. Very excited about this next one. So we have our first rural peer-to-peer session actually tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you are a rural grant recipient and you have not received an invite for this and you would like to, please reach out to us at contact@nvtac.org, and I will make sure that you get the invite for this session and then also receive future invites for any other rural grantee sessions moving forward. And similar to that, if you are not receiving any emails from NVTAC right now and you would like to be added to the distro list, just reach out to contact@nvtac.org and I will make sure you're added for future announcements. Next slide, please. Okay, and then a couple other exciting things that are coming up in the near future. So we will be releasing the updated grant recipient program guide and welcome packet. And once those are finalized and ready to go, we will send out an announcement to all grant recipients that it is now available. We are also working on a new participant training desk guide that will include, everything to do with participant training, ideas for thinking outside of the box for training paths that different participants can go down for various career types. So we're working on a comprehensive participant training desk guide that we will get out to you soon. And we are also working on new and improved customizable forms for grant recipients to use based on the fantastic feedback we got from you all at our last COP event and through the survey we sent out. So we're working on those as well. So thank you all for your input on customizable forms. Next slide, please. And these are just some additional resources that we wanted to make sure you were aware of. So on the NVTAC website, again, we have the menu of services listed here. We have community of practice registration for every month. We have recordings and slides for each past community practice session, HVRP policies, guidance, and forms, past post-award conference sessions, which are fantastic. If you were not able to attend those, you can view the recording, and then also past quarterly listening sessions as well. And next slide, please. One more slide. And this is our email one more time, contact@nvtech.org. If you have any questions, if you have a TA referral, please reach out to us there and we would be happy to help. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Jen. I know NVTech has been working really hard to incorporate all the great feedback that you all have been providing. And so trying to get those resources out to you all. Do appreciate everyone's time and attention today. Just wanted to remind you all, if you have a question or if you have feedback, please go ahead and put that in the chat. Maria came on. I will turn it over to Maria if she has any closing remarks.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, just a couple of final thoughts. Again, thank you everyone for sticking around. I see we had a really great turnout today. And what we really wanted to do was let you know that we hear you. And in some cases, we have work that addresses people's concerns, thoughts, ideas, issues, questions. And in others, we do not yet, right? You point out things that we have not yet quite addressed or we haven't begun to. But I think today kind of emphasized a little bit of there's a lot of information out there, maybe new to some of you. We need to do a better job in communicating, organizing, making this easy to understand and easy to access. So we'll continue to work on those things as we move forward, but please don't ever stop talking to us because we're always listening and very much appreciate your input. Everyone have a great afternoon. Thank you.